Exodus 2:15. God's in it. What is he in? It. What it? Any it. A dumb old job, a lost purse, being passed on that promotion, the car you enter, or SUV or truck you enter tomorrow morning, that 40-year unanswered prayer. Been praying and praying and praying. He's in every place. He knows everything. He cannot be in it. He cannot but be in it. He is in it. But for the Christian, he's in it for good. He is not indifferent to your cause. He will help you. He will correct you if errant. He doesn't the world. He does not. He says he doesn't. Not necessarily. And there, God's in it. God is wherever you're at. God's in it. He's in these things and that. We have all of our failings and all the things we do. And I'm not saying all of it, everything that happens is a good thing. It's not a good thing. Or everything you do is a good thing. It's not a good thing. I'm just saying God is there. God is in it. God is in situations, especially things that happen that are outside of your control. But he is in the things that are within your control. And as we live life, we wonder what really is in our control. Could you tell me what you really have in your control? There's very little that you actually have in your control. We have roles and certainly things we have to do and must do and will do, but in our control. God's in it. Rely on him. Number one, starting in verse 15, number one, God is in our seemingly arbitrary living if we walk in his ways. It's also true if we do not. Again, he's there. But just you're walking in the way. You're following the Lord. He's in our seemingly arbitrary living. When Pharaoh heard this matter, it's a Hebrew adoptee killing an Egyptian. He's called an Egyptian today. He is an Egyptian, but it's not been a secret. The Pharaoh knows. The father of Pharaoh's daughter knows who this guy is, and he killed the Egyptian that was ill-treating his people. You have to remember with this, he's going to kill him. He's going to want to kill Moses. You have to remember their fear. Don't forget their fear with the actions of this Pharaoh. We have in Exodus 1 that he's a new king. He's not the one who liked Joseph. That's Exodus 1:8. But Exodus 1:9, and he said to his people, look, the people are children of Israel, they're more and mightier than we. See, they're afraid of this. And for him to get away with this, if he got away with it, they are more and they are mightier than we. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply, and it happen in the event of war that they also join our enemies and fight against us, and so go up out of the land. Boy, I haven't seen this movie in years. But when Pixar was making excellent films, it's like all of them were excellent for a while. But Bug's Life. And when they realized there's only 12 grasshoppers, I don't know how many grasshoppers there were, but there was these 12 big, mean grasshoppers, but endless ants were way more than them. And that's what the concern was. So there is this event, even if it be this adoptee, he's got to deal with it. When the Pharaoh heard of this matter, he sought to kill Moses. The easiest thing in the world is for a Pharaoh or a potentate, a monarch, to kill. It's easy. For any reason, and certainly in this situation, for any reason you could do it. He sought to do it. He couldn't do it. He escaped, but that's not easy. Escaping, that's not easy. But whatever it is, God's in it. Killing is the most decisive of all bud nipping. He nipped it in the bud. I'm going to kill the guy. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh. Just a moment with that idiom, because we don't talk that way. We never say that. He fled from his face. Oh, turn your face toward me. We don't talk that way. It's an idiom that just means someone's presence. He fled from his presence. But it is an idea that's in Judaism. And you see in so many Psalms and whatnot. It's in the blessing, the very high priestly blessing of number 6. In number 6, he mentions, "Would the Lord bless you and keep you." I'm singing it again. Now that we have granddaughters staying over, we'll sing the songs. I'm the song master. April does whatever she does. I'm doing my work. Bill, time ready for songs. I come in for the songs, do the songs. And often it is, "The Lord bless you and keep you." The Lord make his face shine on you. We don't talk this way. The Lord lift his countenance upon you. In Psalm 27, it says, when you said, "Seek my face," my heart said to you, "Your face will I seek." Do not hide your face from me. We don't talk this way, but this turning away. The Lord turning towards you is good. He turns towards you. He sees you. You see him. He remembers you. The Lord turning away from you. Seeing the Lord face to face, or seeing anyone face to face but the Lord, seeing him face to face was a great, great favor. Your great favor if you could look upon the Lord. Turning away, the Lord turning away from you, or anyone turning away from you, is great disfavor. And he knew of his disfavor with Pharaoh in that. From Habakkuk 1:13, "You are of purer eyes than to behold evil, and cannot look on wickedness. Why do you look on those who deal treacherously?" There was not one scene, but several scenes, 2 at least that I remember of Bill de Blasio in New York City, where the NYPD police, many of them, turned their back on him, wouldn't look at him. And is that respectful? I think it's very respectful. No protest, no yelling out. But here's their commander-in-chief, whatever, he's over the city. He's certainly over the police department. And they wouldn't even look at him. So it's a biblical thing. He left the face of Pharaoh. Pharaoh would not look upon him with any kind of favor, and so he left. He did the right thing, but he had to leave. In 15, and Moses dwelt in the land of Midian. There are going to be enemies of them, but they're not even a nation yet. There are people now, but they have no nation, they have no law. Those are the 3 you need. You need a people, a population, you need a law, and you need a land. If you have those, you have a nation. Or at least you used to have a nation. But you need a land. You need to protect a border. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Russia or bad North Korea. You have to defend your border. You have to have, a protected area to be decisive in who you're going to be. And it's good, it's very good for the world. If it's bad, it's very good for the world to see what bad does. And you need nations to be nations. And they're not a nation yet. So Midian is not even the nation they will be that comes against them, but they will be enemies in the future, but they become friends now. They become friends to Moses and to the people of God. He dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. An everyday event. A well, it'd be dirt, sandy dirt, some rocks. The well contraption, whatever it is, there. I don't know if there's buckets there. There's troughs there. There's troughs at this well. There's probably troughs at any well, but troughs are mentioned in this well. A very common place. A very common place. The everyday, little did he know he's going to live there for 40 years. No idea that he was going to live. When I say live, they're nomad-ish, and they're moving around. You see where Midian, you see where Horeb is, you see the areas they lived in, and there was a lot of moving around. But with it, that he's going to live there, that there's going to be a confidant, that there's going to be a wife, no idea. Our everyday common places, God's in it. God's there. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, verse 16. And it sounds like a movie, almost sounds like a movie, a musical. And they came and drew water, and they filled the troughs to water their father's flock. It's sheep. It's not lives. It's not cattle here. It would be sheep. God is in our seemingly arbitrary, everyday living. If we walk in his ways, he's very much there. He'll meet Jethro. They'll be friends. He'll help him. He'll have this wife, his wife. He'll have a safe haven. He's safe there somehow. They're not going to look for him there. They don't look for him there. They don't find him. And he has an awesome experience, one that will be used. I have many experiences of my past, even before I was a Christian, and I use them today. Do that. Be sure you use life experiences. He has many. And you can just see him counting on those experiences. He's a shepherd for 40 years. W. Philip Keller, I don't know what the W stands for. He usually goes by Philip Keller, wrote the excellent book, and I'll have to get its name, A Shepherd's Look at the 23rd Psalm. It's pretty close. I do recommend it to you. It's wonderful. Wonderful book. Was he a shepherd? He absolutely was. He was a shepherd in East Africa. And when he moved to British Columbia, he was a shepherd. He started some sheep farms, even some bighorn sheep farms up there, loved the out of doors. And he did become a pastor. And he did write that book. And he counted on his times as a shepherd to, in his things about life, truth about God, truth about Psalm 23. That was very good for Moses and for the Lord to meet him in that common place. I put up this picture of Jonah. It was a ticket to Spain. Just look, what do they look like? I don't know what it would have been, a receipt for that. I don't know what they had for that, but just to put it in today's vernacular, he has a ticket to Spain. He's in Joppa. We've been in Joppa. We looked at Joppa, and the first thing I thought was, many things happened there, but first thing I thought was Jonah. So it was an everyday port. He just got on an everyday boat, but God was in it all. When he goes onto the water, God prepared the storm, God prepared the fish, prepared those. God controlled all that. Now, this wasn't a good experience, but it was for his deliverance. And God's there. You got a ticket, you're going to board a ship, a boat, you're going to board an airplane, you're going to get in the car, you're going to turn the key. God's there. God is in those things. Look around Tuesday at 1:37. Just stop wherever you're at. Look around. And whatever it is, notice it. And then ask yourself a few things. Where are you going? If you're going, where are you going? Literally, if you can, at 1:37 on Tuesday, I know I'm going to do it because I'll remember. No, I don't remember things like that. But I have it on my phone. I put it on my phone so that I would do it. Tuesday at 1:37, my phone's going to go off. And I'm going to seek to get alone right then, if possible. Do I know what's going on at 1:37? On Tuesday, I do not know what's going on at 1:37. I picked it completely randomly. I'm going to stop. You stop maybe. Pick another day maybe. Maybe better is another day. Well, you really don't know what you're going to be doing. And stop and just look at it. Where are you going? Where were you before this? What did you do before this? With things that happened, did you use it for God? How could you have used it for God? How can you use it for God now? What was a good thing about that? But try to notice that God was in it, that God is in it, because he is. And just notice where you're at. He's right here at 1:37 this Tuesday. He'll be right here, and you look around. You're with me, Lord. I know you're with me. Maybe something develops on Monday. You're in it. A good thing, you're in it. Thank you. A bad thing, you're in it. Give me peace. But God is in the everyday. Absolutely. In Genesis 28 to Jacob, behold, I am with you. And there's some specific things for Jacob, but you get this. You take this for the application to your life. I am with you. I will keep you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land. It's a Jacob promise. It's not unto you and not for you. I'll bring you back to this land, for I will not leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you. Or again, for us, it would be, I am not going to, you're not going to get through this day before my plans for you. They need not always be awesome. Some of the most common things, we're going to go look at some costumes on Monday. I plan to do it Monday. I think I'm going to do it Monday. I don't know what's going to happen on that trip. I don't know what they're going to say to me, what I'm going to say to them. Hopefully we'll have costumes. Hopefully that'll be done. But what else is there? He's in the seemingly arbitrary. He is there. The Lord is there. And here he is beside this well. Number 2, God is in our fights if we fight what is right. Exodus 2:16, God's in our fights. Now the priests of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came, drew water, they filled the troughs of water for their father's flock. Then the shepherds came and drove them away. The Sesame DeMille 10 Commandments, it might be kind of accurate, where they're shepherds and they're swinging staffs. We don't know, but I'll tell you what we know from the Bible. The shepherds drove them away, and Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flocks. Now, I don't know if he used force, but it looks like force to me, and force is the only language a shepherd speaks. So, they got their staves and their rods, and that's all they understand. But we have in verse 19 that he delivered us from the hand of the shepherds. He delivered us. So it seems like there was a forceful fight, a deliverance. I think maybe Cecil B. DeMille, who got so few things right, got that right. He got enough right that I watch it every year, maybe. Anyway. Look on the stand, the land you stand on. Are you standing on the right? Not your hand, not right, but the right. Do you take stands for the right? Do you do the right thing? And again, we're not in a fight every day. And most of our fights are probably going to be, talking about the Lord, saying something for the Lord. But do you stand on the side of right? I do not remember his name. I remember Pastor Reverend Philip, but I cannot quite remember his name. But he came to Clearing Bible Church. He was a retired Methodist pastor. He lived in our area, so he came to our church, liked Lee, liked our church. He was Indian, and he looked very Indian, 5'3", very Indian looking, always wore a cleric collar. He'd come in with his cleric collar, and he took us up in a ministry opportunity on a certain avenue on the north side of Chicago, where it was all these Hindu-Muslim mix. I mean, it was like Hindu and Muslim was like on the street. It was like 100%, like no Caucasian, besides us, there's like no really whites walking by, all these, and we would go up there at different times, passing out tracts. Especially he liked us. He was just around a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. He especially liked us going up at Christmas time. And he'd go right in there, businesses, whether they're Muslim or Hindu, to sing, and they were respectful. It was amazing. I thought this would be an angry people group. Both fronts, Hindus but with him there. And 5'3", gray hair, cleric collar, and we're on the street playing guitar, singing songs, giving out tracts. It's him, a couple of his, and Clearodians. We're from Clearing. Clearodians. I think they're Clearodians. People from the Clearing Bible Church. And we're up there singing songs. And we were done. I packed up. We're going down. We're walking down. A big fight between 2 young men broke out here. And I'll call him Reverend Philip. He got right in there. I mean, they're fighting. I put money on the big guy. There's a big guy. Right away, we put some money down on it. I'm like, well, you're in Chicago. I'm not in Chicago breaking up fights. I really don't break up fights. You may have to do something like that, but this is a fist fight breaking out. We're doing this, and Pastor, Reverend Phil, he went right in there between, no, you back up. He didn't know these guys. No fighting, no fight. He had an accent. I couldn't do his accent. It wasn't very Hindu sounding or Indian sounding, but he had this accent, British type. No fight. You shake, whatever it was. And he just, wow, this little dynamo, This guy was so, you weren't afraid of getting hit? Maybe they needed to fight it out a little bit. But he did the right thing. He did the right thing. Maybe I wouldn't handle it that way, but that's what he decided to do. And he did it, and it was quite impressive to behold. But we're in fights. Maybe it won't be a physical thing, but we're in fights. Are you on the side of right? God is in our fights. God helped him. We have from Proverbs 31, not just a virtuous woman, but the words of King Lemuel. We don't know who that was. We have no idea who that was. Some even conjecture it's some having fun with Solomon and his mother. So I don't know. I have no opinion at all. But we do want to read this. There's a couple things of wisdom before he talks about the virtuous woman. And it says in verse 1 that Lemuel, it was the utterance of his mother that she taught him. Here's the things that she taught him. And in verse 3 it was, do not give your strength to a woman. Obviously not talking about a wife. Do not give your strength to a woman. In verse 4, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes intoxicating drink. I thought that's all they did in the Bible. I thought that's all kings did. Lest they drink and forget the law. But then he says this in 8 and 9, open your mouth for the speechless, in the cause of all who are appointed to die. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and the needy. Get on the side, especially of the weak and being mistreated. Get on the side. And abide with me, that chorus, it calls them the help of the helpless. Be that. Help in the helpless. We were there on October, whatever it was, that first Sunday last week as we were standing for pro-life stance. But whatever it is, I learned an amazing thing. There's stories, you say you're going to mention them and not tell them. No, I'm not going to tell them. It would take the half hour. But I am going to use it in a chapel time coming up at the elementary. In whenever that is, end of January. Sorry, Elijah. But you heard this, Elijah. I think you heard it. I try to tell these three stories, one round every class of kids that go through the elementary. And it's a story about my brother Bobby, a boy named Kyle. And you might remember this because I told the stories here years ago. And a story of snots and shots. And so I won't tell the stories, but I'll give you enough of snots and shots. They were two girls, and to this day, I don't know their names, not because I forgot them, but they weren't in my class, so I didn't have to call their names or hear the teacher. But we only knew them as snots and shots because their nose were always running. And I tell these stories because it was either my bad behavior or my indifference as others had bad behavior. And I tell it to the kids, you are not here to be rude to other kids. You're here to be nice. I reminded my sisters of this. And we were with my sisters recently. We go to Fort Wayne if we're going to meet. And I get Michigan apples, and I give it every year for my nephew in Chicago. He wants them. I get Michigan apples. That's the ones I went to, the place she led me to, because one source dried up. Here I am with my fix. I need my fix. It's Honey Crisps. And we got Honey Crisps, $16 a bushel. Do the math. It's really inexpensive. Good Honey Crisp. So we're bringing those down. We just went to bring them down. Hey, Becky Mooney, how do we call kids in? I just want to see, how do we call kids in when they call the cold kids coming in? There's 7 kids. How'd you call them? All the cold kids got to come in, and that's it. That's the song. I had it in a sermon one time. All the cold kids got to come in. Every cold kid that calls them in, it's all the cold kids got to come in. And they all do it that way. I don't know why. And Mooney was leaving, and Becky was still there. Becky, do you remember the name of Snot? You remember Snots and Shots? Yes, I remember Snots and Shots. Do you know their name? She did, but she couldn't remember it, but she did know their name. And I'm going to add this year. I decided to tell this story about a month ago. It's been too long. I'm telling it at the elementary. They're going to hear this story. These 3 stories. And Becky said, because I stood up for them. I didn't know that. I never saw her. I stood up for them saying, why don't you mind your own business? And she befriended them somewhat, spent some time with them. How did that go, Beck? They treated me like them. They started calling me snots. Wow. I bet she's the one that witnessed to me, my sister Becky. When I grew up, I couldn't stand her. Always in my business, telling me what to do. My older sister, mother, you're not my mother. I don't know how many times I told my sister Becky. She was like, I always tell the girls about how much she'd get in my business growing up, trying to probably help me, I guess. I don't know. But you stood up for them. I stood up for them, and I suffered the mistreatment they suffered. Are you in a fight? One thing I will say of the story, I met snots on a bus going down 63rd Street towards Cicero. And I felt so ashamed. I wasn't part of what they said to her, but I was sitting around looking. This is just an anthropology, a human study. Oh, this is very, wish she ought to really wipe her nose. And I can't say I didn't laugh a little bit here or there. Just this weird scene with that, but I was one that held the coats, so to speak. I didn't throw any, but I held the coats who throw the stones. Anyway, I saw her in that bus, and I couldn't even go up. I wasn't a Christian yet. I couldn't even go and apologize. She looked better, very poor. No, she looked better dressed, going off to work. If I was a Christian, I gotta tell you, what is your name? I wasn't part of the thing, but I was in the silent crowd, standing around doing nothing. What is your name? Would you go off with a lunch or something? I would like to meet you, and certainly I would witness to her. And could you imagine if I meet her again, ever? I wasn't in a fight, and I was ashamed. I didn't get in that fight. Moses stood up. There's not a whole lot with 3 and 4, but we'll leave it right there. It's been a long day for you. It's been a long day for me. And go get in a fight. Yes, go get in a fight. I'm not saying fisticuffs, but old Reverend Philip, I don't know what. No. We don't do this. But get on the right thing of things. And boy, at school, this is big. Are you sitting with the one no one sits with? Do you identify with the one no one else identifies with? Be sure you get on at work that you are standing up for the wrong people, ridiculing people, that you stand up, that you speak up, that you do what Christ would do. But Lord, we pray. I'm not ashamed of myself anymore, but I remember being ashamed of that on that CTA bus, Chicago Transit Authority bus. I sat there without the human dignity to go and say, I'm sorry the way people treated you and the way I was complicit in my silence. What life are you living? Where do you work? What's your name? What's your name? I'd do it today. And I'm also on the fight today to protect, if you will, the snots, the shots, my brother Bobby, and Cal. I'm on their side. I'm with them now. I throw my hat in their ring. I am for the fatherless, those thrown away, those rejected, those browbeaten, downbeaten, forsaken. I'm on their side. That we would be Christ to all. Lord, you're in it. You're in our lives. Let us be into you and see you and redeem the time. I pray to Christ's name, amen.